I'm going to do an example of a pipeline. I'm going to, you know when I said positions should be X, Y, and Z? I'm going to use I, J and K because it gets a bit confusing trying to remember which ones. I'll just use I, J and K even though sometimes it's a position and it should be X, J, K. I'll say that again, X, Y, Z. Okay, you see I'm getting confused already, so proves my point. So we've got a pipeline that starts at 0, so 0I, 0J, 0K. So it's been defined the starting point. I'm going to say this point where we start drilling from is 0, 0, 0. Because you can define, who's to argue where you define the origin? Is it the centre of the earth? Is it the centre of the sun? You know, it's purely what you want to make it. Who decided that Greenwich Mean Time should be there? They think the answer to the rest of the world, they have to work from Greenwich. So, same as us.
It had to be somewhere, though,
It had to be somewhere, yeah. Sometimes somebody's got to make the decision on them. Yeah. But what we do these days is we'd have a big committee and argue about it. So it starts there, and then it ends at position, so it goes to 7I, 21J, and minus 14K.
Sir,
Yep.
you know that first one, how would it make sense? Because that's trying to say it's not really doing anything.
It's a position. I know I've used IJK, which is supposed to be vectors, but it's a position, so it's our origin. We're saying this is a starting point. We defined it as having 0 position.
Oh.
You know when you've got your graph, that's your origin there, isn't it?
Oh.
Or 3D, you've got an origin
Yeah.
there. So we just said that we'll treat that as the origin and work from that as a reference point.
Is this like another example from what we did in the morning? Yeah?
Yes, yeah. It's getting very close to the assignment, this one. In fact, this will come in the assignment because this is all about drilling the road type of thing. So it ends at position there. So you could define that this is A, and this is B. Okay. It then heads in the direction. So this is a direction, not a position of. So the direction. Let's write that in. Of 5I, 20J.
Is this just a continuation of earlier then?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Can I do it with the same title and that one, so that's what I'm saying?
If you wish, yeah. Yeah. So it heads in a direction, so this is an IJK situation. To finish at, and then it finishes, so that's direction and finishes. So this then is back to a position, so strictly speaking I should be using XYK, XYZ. And I finish here. So AI and BJ, got laugh. And some did, and 0K. So it's come back to, K is a height from the ground, you could say. So
It's funny that.
it's come back to the same height. It's come back to the same height.
It was funny
on
in
the
primary
road.
school.
Sir?
Yeah.
Wait.
It was
It
funny
was
at
funny
school.
in primary school.
Sir, how did you get 5I, 20J and 7K?
Right, this is a direction, this is a unit vectors. So what it says is it's gone like that and it's arrived there at B from A. And then what it's doing, it's travelling in that direction. Okay, but it doesn't say how far it's going, it just says it's going in that direction. So you get the units that tell you the angle it's at basically. But it's not the whole story because it doesn't tell you. It's like, for example, if I want to go to, say, Newcastle from here, I'm going to go where I'm going to go that way. And the first place I might arrive might be Harrogate. Okay, so I say I'm travelling in the direction of Harrogate, but I don't stop at Harrogate, I keep moving in the same straight line. This is, off the top of my head, this could be miles out. Could end up in New Zealand or something, but so to speak, I go in that direction that way, and I keep going, and I go through Harrogate. So I go in the direction of Harrogate, I keep moving, and eventually I hit Newcastle. And that was where actually, that's Newcastle. That's where I was heading. Okay, this will make sense as I do the example actually. So, so that's a direction, but not necessarily a length. There might be a multiplier in front of these and make the distance longer. Like Harrogate's, what, 30 miles from here kind of thing, 30 miles that way, and then Newcastle's, whatever it is, 80, 90 miles. So I'd have to times it by 3, for example, to get the actual length that I'm looking at distance. Huh?
I'll write this down.
Write that one down. So I'm travelling like this now, and I'm going to end up back, and all I know is that it's going to be 0k, but I don't know the other two numbers, and I've got to find those.
Shouldn't there be comments between them?
Yes, they should. Just gets a bit tedious writing them every time. I'm going to go through them.
Whoa,
B.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was
B,
0k,
you don't know
yeah?
that.
I'm just going to put those commas,
Yeah.
not proper commas, but commas. Right, so this is a direction, and I end up here at C. But we don't know what the I and J are. We've got to calculate those, is what the question means. So it says find the missing parts for position C. So I'll write up here. Find C's position. Find C, I'll just put it as. Okay, make it short and sweet. So I know that much. What can I do? So I'm going to have to lose my little diagram. So what we've got is, I know this much, that BC, so BC is, so I take, to get to BC, remember I take the starting point, which is here, away from the finishing point. Remember that discussion we had? So that's my finishing point, so it's going to be AI, BJ, and 0k minus 7, so minus this 7i, 21j, and minus 14k, and that will equal. So if I did, I'll explain myself a bit better there. That taking that away from that will give me the unit vector. Will give me the in unit vectors. Will give me the equation of the vector, like we did before. So that equation of the vector is actually that. Is it not? Because that's the direction we go, plus some multiplier because we don't know about that. It could be 1. I'll write it in and explain. I'm going to use, because I'm running out of letters, I can't use X, Y, Z or JK, IJK. So I'm going to use lambda, Greek letter lambda. Well, I'm going to try anyway. And this is my direction, this is my unit vector, my equation of my vector. And 7k. Okay, so by taking that away from that, I've got that is what that means. And lambda is some value that I don't know. I'm going to redraw that because it's a horrible lambda.
Looks like a 2, sir.
It looks like a cotangle with a bottom bit cut. Something like that. Still bad. But it's a lambda, Greek letter lambda. Maybe I should pick something to be, maybe I should have used H. Should I use H?
No, that's fine.
Okay. It's just basically something to represent a number we don't know. A
Do
multiplier.
custom up there? Or a big X?
Big, yeah, a bit. I don't want to use X because of the vector aspect of it. X, Y and Z.
How did we get the end bit? 5i, 20j, and 7k?
Because that is our equation of a vector
Okay,
for going from there to there.
okay.
We're given that, but it's some multiplier because, as I said, we're heading off towards Newcastle, but we know the direction, but we don't know the distance.
So we're not
That's going to give us a
cut,
distance.
Can I get some more?
We've got
Okay.
started.
Let's multiply it. So if I do 5 miles and it's 50 miles, it's going to be 10. For that
Shit, how the fuck do you do that?
Right, so
In microwave, that's not it.
result to me notes is always the safest bet. You know what I'm like. So that means that therefore, so I'll have a therefore, AI minus 7I plus BJ minus 21J plus 0K 0K plus 14K yeah, so I'm subtracting it, that's why it's become plus. Okay, that's a minus sign, so that makes minus minus plus. Okay, equals our lambda of 5I, 20J, 7K. Okay. So that tells me, in a roundabout way, what lambda must be, because that minus that will give me, would leave me with 5, that minus that would leave me with 20, and that minus that would leave me with 7K, but it doesn't, does it? That added together with that gives me 14K. So I've got 14K equals 7K, well that's impossible. So this would have to be something that multiplies 7 to give me 14. If I multiply that bracket with a certain number, that would make that into 14. Okay?
2.
So it's going to be 2. So therefore, lambda must equal 2.
Can you spell lambda, please?
Yeah, it's like that, I think. Fairly sure. Lambda. That says lamb. Is it DA? See, I'm going well here.
Lambda.
Has it got is it DA on the end? Or is it B, DA? Does everybody know?
I don't think.
And that's
See,
simple
now you
question.
confuse me, Kev.
The whole world's collapsed on.
I was wrapping the ball until you just done this, and now.
Something had to
How do
be
you
wrong.
spell it?
And spelling's a good way to go wrong.
Lambda motor sound.
Has it got B in it for the D?
Yeah, BDA.
Right. Lambda like that. Okay. I'll never forget that ever again now. Well, see me now. Okay, so that means that therefore that's 2. So that means all these numbers must be 10I, 20J and 14K. 40K, J, yeah, oh, that's my second mistake. 40K, J, 40J. So that would be, this is my I terms. So if you look at that, so we know this one. So A must be AI minus 7I equals 10. And it's a positive 10 as well. So that must mean that this is 17. 17I minus 7 will give me 10. So A must equal 17. Okay. 17 minus 7 gives me 10. Double checking myself here.
So what's the,
Yeah, it agrees with me. Good. It's a good sign.
what is that sign after, is it 2 or?
So this one,
Lambda.
No, on top there.
Therefore.
that one.
No. On the top line, down,
That
that one.
one's the same as that one. Can't you tell? I mean, it's a complete copy. It's exactly the same. You can't, you know, you just. All right, I can't draw.
Where is that? Is it called a lambada?
Lambda.
Lambda.
Yeah. But don't ask me how to spell it.
So it's like a,
Yeah, that's
It's all
probably the
triangle.
nearest I've got. Maybe a bit less
Sea
detail
level
on it.
to Greek Alphabet.
Yeah. What did the teacher in, what did the teacher in school?
Spanish.
Is it BJ?
Greek.
Yeah, it's a great language. It's a very precise language. So that's A, and B, so BI equals 20, sorry, let's get this right. I'm done with it. Bar rubber. So I've got here is minus 21j equals 40j. Okay? So I take 21 away and I get that, so that'd have to be, it's got to be a big number. So that'd have to be, just double check myself before I open my mouth, 61, yeah. So B must equal 61. I put the J in there, but I didn't need, I there, but I didn't need it, so it's 61. So B is 61 and A is 17. So that tells me, going back to this here, I've now found that. So my point at C finishes at, let's put the capital, at 17I, 61J and 0K. So that's where it's going to end. So that's that one done, actually.
Why was it 0k?
That's where that was information given us right at the beginning. If you think about it, if you go across a road, all right, the roads, you know, the ground at the side might have an embankment or a ditch or something. But if you're going across a road and it's the same level, you're going to want it to come back to ground level. So that's going to be your ground level basically. But it's not going to be in the same position. It's going to be across to the side of the road. So one direction at least is going to have changed, and possibly two if you've gone off at an angle slightly for some whatever reason to avoid something like a tree or something. So that's what it means. So you've ended up back at the same height on the other side of the road. The pavement maybe is the same height, but you've moved obviously to the side of the road in one of the directions, and you've moved to the side as well maybe to avoid something. So probably 61, depends how you lay it out, but maybe 61's the distance you've travelled to the side.
Get off your